Welcome to the third episode of HR After Hours with Hope. I am your host, Hope Malvo. Okay, today is really special, guys, because we have both of our co-hosts in the building.
What's going on, people?
That would be, who are you?
You know who I am. I'm Petey.
I'm Petey, baby.
I'm Petey.
And Brad.
Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to Hope. Oh, no, it's HR After Hours. My bad. I'm Brad.
You see, guys, that is why he is not invited and he is not a regular all the time. He doesn't even know the show. He don't even know the show.
The name of the show.
He does not know the show. So I hope everybody had an amazing week today. So today's episode is about bosses. Like, I know we all have bosses. I know that we've all experienced something with our bosses that may not have been favorable. So we just kind of wanted to dive into the idea that when you have a bad boss, you have big problems.
Big problems.
Right? Bad boss, big problems. So what you're seeing on the screen right now.
That was good. Bad boss, big problems.
Yeah, bad boss, big
I
problems.
like it.
So with Office Space, I know I was not a fan of Office Space because it was kind of ridiculous to me.
What? You ain't like Office Space?
No.
What
The
is-
boss?
I didn't like
Like, he was
Office
like,
Space.
Yeah. Okay.
It was just like really weird to me. But what I
You
did
don't like my movie?
what I did, that's what he said. What I did like about Office Space, though, was that it was a very telling sign of how bosses are in the workplace, like today. Like, I bet every last one of us, if you haven't watched Office Space, you need to go watch it, because every last one of us have experienced a boss in one job or another that was similar to one of the bosses on Office Space. So we're going to talk about that today.
Yep.
We're going to talk about that today. So I'm going to just kick it off. I'm going to talk about the characteristics of a bad boss. I'm going to just give you a few. They gave me like 24. I was like, okay, people know what a bad boss is, but some of this was like really telling. So one of the characteristics of a bad boss is they don't provide clear direction. So they're wanting you to do things, but they're not even telling you what they want you to do. Hey, you guys, comment below, share as much as possible. I want to make sure everybody is a part of this conversation, just because I think it can be transformational for some people. I think some people are sitting in jobs right now today that they hate, and it's because of their boss, and they really don't know what to do. So hopefully they find clarity by watching this show. So share, and comment below. So they don't have clear direction. They do not provide regular feedback. There's no recognition. There's no strategic planning involved. They're just like, hey, do your job, and if you don't do your job, you fired.
Right.
So
I'm
I
the
know
boss. You do what I say.
You do what I say, and don't
no
cause
content
me no
behind
problems.
it. Yeah.
They love brown nosers. They love people that come and tattletale and tell what's going
I know
on.
one brown noser at my job. Man.
His nose brown.
Oh, man.
Or
it's
her
just-
nose brown.
No, he is. It's just his whole face. He have it all the way up there.
Face brown.
I mean, he just be up there.
So they're brown nosers, they're tattletales. They like those types of people. We already talked about they fail to communicate. They use discipline as a measure to pretty much throw their authority around because, well, they're the boss. They speak loudly. They're rude. They are one-sided to the staff. And then it gets a little deeper. And this is the one that causes me a lot of concern, and part of why I started my consulting company, Vogue Professional Services, is because a lot of bosses take the authority that they have and they use it against the employee. So you have an employee that comes into the organization that's pumped and ready to go, and then you get this boss, and by the time they leave the organization, they are unrecognizable, not only to themselves but even to the people around them.
Yeah.
And it causes psychological issues. A study says it takes 22 months to recover physically and emotionally from a toxic boss.
Wow.
Toxic bosses cause depression, anxiety. I mean, it's a big deal.
It's a nuclear waste field.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Can I go to work and call my boss a toxic boss?
I mean, but you might not have a toxic boss. If you don't have a toxic boss, you're good to go. But
No, my boss.
a lot of
My
people
boss
do.
is not toxic.
He putting that on record.
Wink, wink. I think that you're great. Wink, wink.
Okay, so we're going to talk about stories. Facebook, comment below.
record.
I'll read your
On
stories
record.
out loud right now. But I want to read a scenario that I received from a worker that has had a toxic boss. So anytime you want to send me something, you can send it to hrafterhours1@gmail.com.
Oh, we got people engaging with the show already.
Boom, boom.
Already,
We got
girl.
people that are
You
sending
are
stuff.
Oprah in the making.
Hey, oh, say it again one more time.
Girl, you are Oprah in the making.
He gonna do.
This is me receiving it. I receive it. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not gonna name this person, but I'll just briefly talk about. I mean, if I showed you the page, I mean, it was like a lot. She wrote a lot, so I'm just gonna try to make it small because we only have 30 minutes. So she's basically saying that when she got this particular job, she realized that her boss was not treating her favorably. So she wanted to figure out how to bridge the gap between her and the boss. So she went into the office, sat down, and expressed that she felt like the boss was creating a toxic work environment for her, and yelling at her and degrading her in public in front of her coworkers, calling her on her off days, telling her that, I heard you made mistakes when you were at work and all that kind of stuff. And she even went as far as to tell this employee that she was not worth the $50,000 annually that she was paying the employee. She said at that moment she was stunned, and she really just didn't know what to do. She started buying her things to try to get on her good side. None of that worked. So her question to me was, how do I feel about a manager who would treat their employees that way? And do I feel that respect should be earned or given based off titles, or that everyone, despite their titles, should be treated the same? I mean, to me, this is like a no-brainer. Of course, everyone should be treated the same, and you shouldn't be treated any differently. And I said that like in the episode 1, so check it out if you haven't. But episode 1, I said it like everybody should be treated the same. And as a manager, HR, people in authority, we have a responsibility. It's when you say, "Hey, I want this management position," you're taking ownership for treating people respectfully, treating them right. I get really, really, really mad about this topic because I've seen it happen so many times where bosses are just using their authority, like literally throwing it around, and people are having to deal with this pressure. Not to mention, it's tied to their money. It's tied to their family. So you
Their
have somebody,
livelihood.
right, their livelihood. So, I mean, what are you guys' take on that?
I got a question for you. Do you think, though, that bosses look at it from a perspective of authority versus, it sounds like you're pitching that this is actually a responsibility as opposed to like you're here to dictate? More so like you have a responsibility to these employees in addition to the responsibility that you have to meet your goals as a boss.
Yeah, like I mean, come on. If you have children, you have nieces, cousins, whatever, the best way to get anybody to do anything is to be kind to them. Now, I'm not saying you have to not be stern at times, and I'm not saying that people.
I was stern this week.
You told me your little story.
Well,
You
I
told me
feel
your
like,
little story.
there's a way to get your point across. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
I
And
agree.
you can be effective in getting a response out of your
I agree.
people. Yeah.
I agree. I agree because when you are in a situation like that, and I always said to myself, I just don't understand why they won't leave. Why wouldn't you leave a toxic situation? But I did some research and
Car
studies.
notes.
Yeah.
House notes.
Studies have
House
proven
notes,
too
light
that-
bill due.
Right, psychologically,
Yeah.
people tend to stay in a toxic relationship, because let's just call it
Yeah,
what
that's
it
exactly
is.
what it is.
It is a relationship.
An abusive one.
An abusive relationship. So people tend to stay in toxic relationships, in toxic situations, when they feel like there's no hope. Like they feel like, okay, it's too hard. Let's talk about the mental exhaustion that comes with being stressed and being, burdened down with dealing with someone that is so toxic to you. They just feel like they're stuck and they're in a dead-end job, and I find it to be like seriously wrong.
Last week you made a reference to a person, they were afraid to jump, basically. They were saying that, it was hard for, there you go, right there.
Jump.
It's basically hard for a black man to get a corporate job, so they would rather just deal with the abuse. And it's just like you're in an abusive relationship. That's that battered woman where that man is controlling them,
Yeah.
and they're scared to leave. Well, he's not always mean to me,
Right.
It's my fault. If I hadn't have done it this way, I wouldn't get in trouble,
Right. And that's
But
crazy.
again, you as a boss, I feel like you have to be a coach. Like, you have to motivate.
Come on, coach.
Right?
Come on, coach.
Yeah,
Coach me
you have to
through.
motivate
Coach me through.
your employees. Also you have to be stern to let them know that you are serious, you are the boss. But there's a way to say things and not come off as abusive.
Okay, well, let's talk about that too. Why do you feel like you have to let them know that you're the boss? We know you're the boss. Like, you sign our time
I
sheet.
will
Sometimes
say
you do have to, because they try you, right?
they try you. I think that people are people. I think when you're managing people, the biggest thing about being in management is that you have to manage people. So at times people do things where you have to say, hey, look, this is the hierarchy of leadership. This is what we are doing. And this is the system. And when I say hierarchy of leadership, because I hear you hit me with but what I'm saying in that is this. Listen, this is what we are doing. This is the plan. This is the strategy. We may be an Indian tribe.
Yeah.
But we will not have 1,000 chiefs.
Okay.
Right,
And this
right.
is what
I
we're
agree.
doing. So somebody has to bring the tribe
Okay,
back together.
I
Yeah.
do agree with that. But I believe the most successful and effective leader is one that does not have to say, I'm the boss.
Facts.
So the key
It's
to-
already understood.
It's understood.
Yeah.
The key to
Big facts.
leadership is to get people to sign on and rally with you.
Correct.
I don't have to say I'm the boss. I get your buy-in. We work this thing together because the I am the boss mentality, unfortunately, it doesn't stay
So
in that
what is
box.
the
Let me-
the mentality that you're
Let
talking
me
about?
let me just say this. If you're a boss and you have a big project on the table, y'all have a deadline, and you talk to your team, hey guys, this is what we need to do. You don't have to necessarily say, I'm the boss, this is how we going to get it
Exactly.
done. Now, you can strategize, the plan
That's
and
right.
everything, but when y'all leave that room, they feel like they want to run through a
Exactly.
wall
To help
because
you.
you know
But when
what?
I say-
I respect you.
Hold on,
I don't fear you or abuse you.
There's a Facebook viewer that says, I think that's Magnetic Sun. Employers who operate this way never get the best out of their employees if their situation compels them to stay. So that is true. Like, when you become too aggressive and too me, because that's the thing too. Like, you're not working independently. You're working with people. So the key is to get people together to work with you, because the me boss doesn't get people to stay late.
Right.
Projects don't get done. You're more concerned with getting away from the job, let
Correct.
alone staying at the job. Like, I'm definitely not about to stay
Right.
when you don't even respect me, because people feel you hire people for their talent, their skills. You don't hire another you. That's foolish. You should be hiring your weakness every time you
Yeah.
hire someone.
That's
if you
right.
hire someone just like you, then where does
You gonna clash.
creativity come in? At what point are people compelled for their personality to shine through? Where does growth come from? Because I don't need you to make me a you.
Right.
I need to be me.
Well,
Right.
as the prototype employee, I think hiring someone like me is okay. But what I will say is we could throw a few weaknesses in. But no, seriously, when I say the thing about having to express your boss, my personal leadership style is the rally. Hey, we all in this together.
Correct.
Hey, this is a team type of effort. However, when I say the thing about having let you know is the boss, like for instance, hey, look, now guys, now y'all know on this particular day we can't be off from work.
Right,
Like
right.
the fact that you're asking to be off on this particular day
Is a
is
problem.
problem.
Is a
And now
problem.
as the boss,
We need
I
all
have
hands
to-
on deck.
We need all hands on deck. So as a boss, I gotta
think
make
that-
the
but I think
hard
that's
call
okay.
and say, you can't you can't get that day.
I don't see anything wrong
The
with
yeah.
next day you can have. Today, no.
Oh, and look, you just said something real key. I'm not taking something from you. I'm saying we can't do this right now. Here's something else you can do. We can't do it today. You
Right.
can't be off today. Everybody can't be off today. How about we get together, look at seniority, let's look at who's been off. So those are the things you do as a boss. So actually that makes you a good boss. Everybody's not going to like it. Everybody's not going to like it. And I'm not saying just roll over and let people run over you. I'm just saying a real boss don't have to do all
I got a great thing though. I think that as a boss, when you're thinking about not being a bad boss, looking at it from the perspective of putting yourself in the shoes of that particular person. Like this week alone, I had 2 staffers that report to me say I need to be off. One of them for a family-related issue, one of them for a religious-related issue. At the same time, it was ironic. One of the days that one of them asked me to be off, I ended up potentially getting a trip out of the country that I wasn't going to have to pay for. I had to go and ask my boss, hey, can I have this day? And for me, I was like, okay, God, I'm glad I acted right with that person. And then my boss likewise acted right with me.
That's a good point. We're going to go to a commercial break, but let me tell you this real quick. The point is this. You're not going to always be the boss. That's the beauty of life. We rotate, people grow. So that very person that you're mistreating, not treating properly, they might actually be your boss one day, or it might have influence on, your career growth one day. All right, so we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be back shortly.
The human importance can be a fragmented existence. Don't take notice, and you'll miss it altogether. Don't miss it. Introducing your greatest resource, the human resource. Vo Professional Services is putting the human back in human resource. So come along. Get back to human.
Welcome back to the show. Okay, this is I say this every episode like I've had 20 or something. I've only had 3. This is my 3rd episode, but that's okay. I'm going to have a lot later in life. Okay, I digress. This is my favorite part of the show.
Yes.
The Entrepreneur Spotlight. Now, it's my favorite part of the show because I believe in supporting and lifting up people who are doing great things. So the person that we have in the studio today, I'm just so super excited.
Yes.
She's my family too. So we have Jessica Malvo here.
The Malvos.
Malvos in the building.
Jam Beauty Bar.
Yes.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We are so
excited.
Okay, so Jessica is a business owner here in Houston, Texas, and we're just going to dive a little deeper to learn more about her. But before we do that, let's just play just a snippet of her commercial because, she be doing boss hair, like real.
Come on, y'all.
Real boss hair. Like,
Come on, y'all.
Jessica, that one yours. That one.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
This is cool. Jam.
Okay, so after seeing that, ladies, show of hands, how many people want to go get their hair done?
Yeah. Get their hair done.
So I'm just excited.
So you got your touch up today by Jessica, didn't you?
I did. I always do.
So you came in looking.
I have like complete hair struggles. Okay, like we'll probably have like an all woman episode, and maybe we'll talk about hair and professionalism and all that good stuff. I stole that from Brad. That was his he gave me that idea. But anyway, we'll kick him out and we'll just have an all open discussion with women. Anyway, so Jessica, how are you?
I'm fantastic.
So let's just get into it. Like, how long have you been in business?
I've been doing hair professionally for 10 plus years now.
Wow,
So,
and you
yeah.
look 10. So really? Really?
So I've been doing hair 10, 11 years now. It's always been something that I've been really, really passionate about. So it's just kind of stuck with me.
Came naturally?
Yeah.
So when did you know? Like, when did you know, hey, I want to be a hairstylist. I want to be a business owner.
Honestly, y'all know mamas keep everything.
Right.
Right.
So I was about 9 years old, and you write journals.
Okay.
And for class, and my mom kept this journal that I wrote back in '98,
Okay.
and I was saying that I wanted to be a hairstylist. I wanted to be my own boss.
Wow.
I wanted to have my own salon, and 20 plus years later, it came.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
happened, and so. Yeah.
So this is a perfect
I'm mad she was
example.
9 in 98 though. I wasn't 9 in 98.
I think I was a whole 18 years old.
Yeah, me too.
Actually,
Me too.
in 98.
Pause.
So unfair. See, I said she looked 10. So this is for the people out there that are aspiring to do amazing things with your life. Catch what she said. She wrote it down. She made it plain, and it became a reality. So that's what's up. Let's see it. Hold
And
it up. Hold it up.
Don't
Let's
happen
see.
overnight.
Oh, that's the
Look at
journal?
that.
Oh, wow.
It sits with me at my station
As a
as
reminder.
a reminder that it may not happen overnight, but it'll happen.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
So
That's
we're
dope.
talking
I like that.
98.
98.
And then
she still got it framed.
Writing in cursive.
you
Writing in cursive.
They don't even
Writing in
teach cursive
They don't
no
teach
more.
cursive no more.
I know. I got to
But you
teach
know-
my daughter cursive right now.
But you know what though? I don't think cursive is needed anymore.
Why?
Why?
How you
Reason-
gonna sign your name?
They make you write it in middle school
And
though,
that's,
Pete.
that's the only reason why you need it right there, because you type everything nowadays.
Sure.
You read the paper on the internet, everything is in print.
You're right. You're right.
Cursive isn't needed anymore.
antiquated.
Only to sign
To
your
sign your
name.
name.
Yeah. Get back to it.
You hijacked my show. Right. So, what advice? So you've been in business. You've been doing hair for 10 plus years, over 10 years, and you've been in business for how long? Like the location that we saw, how long has that been open?
So December will make 2 years that we've been.
Wow.
Oh,
I've had
wow.
my own
Congrats.
salon.
Congrats.
So that's
Wow.
super exciting for me.
That's hand-
Yeah, that's a hand clap right there.
I wish we had like
I wish we
clapping
had
music.
that. Bop, bop, bop.
Yeah.
That'd have been dope.
Ba, 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 ba.
Uh-oh.
Okay. See, he took me Beyonce. Okay, Chris Paul,
You make
Beyonce,
me
Oprah.
happy.
Right.
All those people get me off track. Okay. Okay. So, what advice could you give someone who is aspiring to do it? To open up a salon, open up anything really, because I think these are
A lot of
practical
people wanna do that.
skills, right? That are transferable. It doesn't matter what industry you want to be in. Like,
Miss
give
Jordan
us some
say bring
tips.
cursive back.
One thing I tell anybody: be intentional about any move you make.
Oh, that's good.
If you move from salon to salon, whatever you do, I just feel like be intentional about it.
Yeah. Got
And then another thing, like I say, I write down literally everything. I write down all my goals. So for me, I use it as a checklist. So when I do, reach those goals, I can check it off. So that's why my little journal is so important to me, because you can kind of check those things off and you feel like you've accomplished something.
You have.
Yeah.
You
So
have.
That's what's up.
That's what.
Yeah, and that's like a reward too. Like,
Right.
hey, I've accomplished this. Let's go celebrate. Let's get a drink. I always want to have a little drink,
Right.
a little cocktail or two. So you don't just own a hair salon. You don't just do hair, but you also have a consignment shop within, and it's not just anyone.
No,
Okay,
I
let me
was
show
seeing
y'all
some
what I got.
stuff in there.
Hold on, let me show y'all something. See how you be getting off task code, Malvo? I'm not supposed to show y'all my purse. But look at this little cute purse, okay? I'm not going to tell you how much I got for it, but this is the
Authentic.
Kind of... It's authentic.
Authentic.
Not a
real
bootleg.
life.
Not a bootleg,
Not a
Louis.
bootleg.
It's a real Louis.
Not a bootleg. bag. It's a real Louis.
It's a Louis Vuitton, not Louis Vuitton.
Louis.
Right.
So she has red bottoms. She has all kinds of stuff in there. So ladies, check it out if you're in Houston. Even if you're not in Houston,
Jam
you
Beauty
can
Bar.
ship,
We
right?
can ship it. Yeah.
You can ship it. But in conjunction with that, you also have products.
Yes. So just this year, the end of April, I released my growth serum.
Okay.
And also my edge tamer,
Let's
which we
see
call
Let's
Sway
see
and
it.
Stay.
The growth serum?
Yeah.
This is the growth serum. So y'all
Make
need
your hair grow?
to get your edges together. That's what you're gonna need, you know. And this is our edge tamer, and they work fantastic. So that's
Okay.
what we use in the salon.
I'm curious.
Madam
Is that
C.J.
some-
Walker.
Is that some of Mama Malvo recipe in
So,
that?
so let me tell you, Mama Malvo emailed the girl. She have a lot to do with that because she always
Has
used
growing hands.
oils
Yeah.
in our hair. We
Yeah.
was greasy.
Man.
But
Look.
it works, and
Yeah.
we all had.
Did
very
she
healthy
inspire
hair.
you a little bit as
She
far as to do
most
hair?
definitely. I mean, after that press and comb,
Yeah.
The burning.
I'm still. But yeah.
For y'all that don't know, we have a big family. And those girls, she would have them in line doing hair all
night.
day for church the
Mama
next
Mal.
morning.
Oh, Easter Sunday. Oh my goodness.
But in all of their hair is long. They
Yeah,
grow
yeah,
long
right.
hair.
All of
All
them
the
had long
cousins.
hair.
Yep.
I was married into the family, so I don't have that hair.
You don't have Malvo hair.
We got you. We got you. I
But
got
you-
you.
she got
I
that
you.
growth- she
I got
has
that
growth serum.
serum, girl.
Sam,
and I
does it
bought
work
it.
on locks?
I bought it.
Yeah, you can use it on locks too.
Yeah, because my hair grows slow. This is like a 2-year endeavor.
This is what you need. I'm
That's
gonna
it.
leave that with
That's
you.
it.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap up because see, we'll do this all day. We talk all the time. So
Question
when it comes to bad bosses or situations, let's just kind of because that's what the topic is. So what experience do you have any experience with that, or maybe you've come across someone who may not have been, I don't know.
I feel like I know the cosmetology industry is a little different. It works a little different. You have more like booth rent and
Yeah.
that type of thing. But like in my salon, we have a booth rent.
Right,
So
right.
I'm the owner and I have.
I need to
That's
get
right.
paid at
Yeah.
the end of the week.
But at the end of the day, I'm not their boss.
Right.
But at the same time, I feel like lead by example.
Correct.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
treat people how you want to be treated,
Correct.
And I feel like you'll go far with that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. No doubt about it.
I don't do the whole micromanage thing. I just
Yeah.
that
That's
sucks.
fine.
And
That
it
is
sucks. So
You'd much rather be doing somebody's hair.
right. I can show you,
Right, exactly.
rather than just tell you.
Exactly, yeah.
So me personally, I mean, I know a few people. Well, in our industry, I like to just say like, what Men's Hope was talking about how I feel like you do better when you work in the industry and own your salon
Boom.
rather than just, I'm just going to own this salon, but I don't do hair. I don't do.
I just own it.
Yeah,
to
I
make
just
money
own
off
it,
of
yeah,
it.
but it's
you don't
kinda
have
like-
the passion for
Right.
it.
So
Got it.
I know we
Got
talked
it.
about that.
Yeah, we did, and I mean that's transferable. We have a lot of bosses, and they're bad bosses because they simply don't understand what it takes to do the job.
Right.
So they are, not as considerate. They're not as focused on, what the employee is doing because they have no idea,
Right.
what the employee is doing. And I think you should be 300,000 feet in the air depending on your position. You should know all the details because,
Most
that's
definitely.
pointless.
Right.
But I do think that you should know enough to have
Be able to
to be
function.
considerate,
Yeah.
to be considerate of them and understand that like it really does take your team to get it done.
Most
I mean, if
definitely.
you were in the shop by yourself, yes, you can do it, but isn't it more effective if you had
When you have a team.
all the right? By the way, team, do you have any positions open now?
Most definitely.
What are
We
you looking for?
looking for great hairstylists. We have a couple of spots to fill. So
Okay.
you can reach out to me at Jam Beauty Bar Houston on IG, or we are located at 2117 Shenavert, Suite K.
Third Ward
Actually, it's Midtown.
or Museum District, whatever you want to call it.
Midtown Houston. So, yeah.
Oh, my bad. You don't want
Stop
your shop
by.
It's like you
Midtown.
can see the nose is what is it? Nose and Timmons Center from.
Oh, okay. I
your
know where you
door.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
okay,
like
cool.
literally across from Phil and Derek's.
Correct.
That's exactly where it is.
Oh, great location.
Great
Thank you.
location,
Thank you.
beautiful
Easy
salon.
freeway access.
Right.
You can go get your hair done, then you can go across the street and go get something to eat.
So Phil and Derek's, if you would like to advertise on the show, let us know. We've already shouted you out. It's your last one, first and last. Okay, so before we go, I did want to let managers and employees and people know what to do in these situations. So quitting is hard. We understand that quitting is hard, but a lot of people say, Hope, I mean, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Sometimes when you're in a toxic environment, there's nothing to do but to leave. They say the normal process is to go to HR. But sometimes that doesn't even work. What I think should happen is, of course, HR should take it seriously. HR should document if there's more than 1 or 2 complaints on this manager. I think HR should definitely get involved and do something about it. But if they're not doing anything about it and you can't like transfer out of the department that you're in, I mean, the only thing you can do is quit. And don't be afraid to jump. Don't be afraid, because your mental stability is much more important than any job, than any money that you can make. Stress leads about heart attacks, strokes, and all kinds of different things. So don't leave yourself in a situation that could be detrimental to your health. So I don't have the answers for that, because every boss is different and every situation is different. But ultimately, if it's a toxic environment and if you are driving to work and you are bawling, you are crying, you're having anxiety attacks before you even get into the building, that is a telltale sign that things need to change. Whether you talk to the boss first, let them know, hey, this is what I've been feeling. And it's really difficult, managers, if you have an employee that's in that situation, to get the results that you want. So your productivity is suffering probably because of your attitude as a manager, and we don't always want to take responsibility for that, but it is, again, our responsibility. If a person is struggling with production, we need to find out why. Hey, what's going on? How are things going? If you don't know that your employee has cancer and they're going through cancer treatments, we probably have a problem. We probably have a tiny little problem. So so just make sure that you're taking care of yourself. That is my advice to you. And to managers, we have to make sure that we are managing effectively and that we do not become we don't have the survivor syndrome where they come in happy, nice, clean, and at the end they're like eating bugs and they rummaging through grass and trash and stuff because you have literally depleted them from life. Right. It breaks my heart. I mean, that's one reason why I wanted to be in HR, because I do think that we have an opportunity to change lives, and it's not just about the job, it's about the person. So that's my soapbox moment, but I definitely wanted to leave you guys with that. Okay, so advertisement. So my husband and I, we announced that we have started a financial services company.
Correct.
And we
Very
sell.
excited about this.
See, why does he get me started? I told him Beyonce distracts me. Oh my God, I'm so distracted right now.
That
song jams. I wish we had it. I wish we had it. So we're looking for Crusaders to be a part of this, and 1,000 families. And what we mean by that is with life insurance. People think life insurance is so expensive.
No,
and
it's really not.
Our experience is that we've spent a lot of money just burying our family members.
Yes.
That didn't take care of bills that were left. Some people, they're the only breadwinners of the family, and so you're not getting life insurance because you're gonna die. However, you're getting it because someone else is gonna live after you.
Yes.
And you have a responsibility to do it, and you can get it as low as like $15, $50, $60 a month. So I'm not saying go break the bank. We will do a financial analysis and tell you what you need, but it's up to you. Even retirement, 401k are not the only way to go.
Insurance on your little babies.
Yeah, at 2 weeks
By the
old.
time they get of age, they got enough money in there where they can go and pay for their own tuition if they want to go to school.
Right, at like 2 weeks old, you can cover your child, but people don't always know about it. So what we're doing is we're doing a little tour of some sort. We're going to multi-purpose centers, just really underrepresented areas that just don't know about financial needs and financial services. So we're really excited. I'm super excited about it.
Man, I'm very passionate about this.
Yeah.
For just because of our experience alone, and if we had have known and our family would have known, then we'd be in a different position.
We would be in a totally different position.
But I'm very passionate about this. If I can do something about it,
we will.
We will.
So if you want to know more about it, comment below. You're on my Facebook. If you're not on my Facebook, my Facebook is Hope Thibodeau-Malvo on Facebook, or you can send me an inquiry on hrafterhours1@gmail.com to learn more. Okay, one more slide, because I told y'all I was gonna be shamelessly plugging everything I do. So I don't want to hear about it now. Go back to the first episode and I said that. So don't be surprised. Do not be surprised.
Brad, did you hear it?
I heard it. Heard it.
All right. So
it's manifested.
We just talked about bad boss, big problems. So what my partner and I, her name is April, we've put together a conference. And what we're doing is, drum roll, please.
There we go.
We're putting together a conference to help you managers. I didn't do a study. A study said that 75% of employees felt like they were in a stressful work environment. So, with this being said, I think you need this conference. So if you could put it up on the screen so that they can see it.
The conference.
It's a conference for managers, CEOs, entrepreneurs. And what it's going to do is you find out who you are being in the company, right? So being the company you keep, knowing the company that you keep, and protecting the company that you keep. It's available
good name
immediately.
Right, you like that?
I like that.
And so we created the Human
Company
Company. Yeah, we created it because at the end of the day, people just want to be treated like humans. I think it's important to understand your workforce, who you're working with, so that you can understand how to promote them, how to incentivize them, learn more about them, and then you need to know how to protect the company. But more importantly, you need to know who you are as a person and as a manager before you can even go there. So check us out. I'm so super excited. We got so much in store. We have so much in store for you guys.
Can't wait.
It's a mandate.
It's a mandate.
Can't wait. It's a mandate. Can't wait. It's a mandate. The company you keep. Boy, y'all dropping gems. I am getting like
sprinkle.
No, what's that little thing where he was doing that?
Yeah, that one.
See, if I'd have known y'all were gonna say that, I would have put that on there. I did not know. I was not involved. Thank you so much, Jessica, for being a part of our show.
Jam Beauty Bar.
Jam Beauty Bar, y'all come by.
Don't forget to check it out. Well, this is the end of our show. So until next time.
Bye.